Share screen. All right, so right here, 5 classes are a good minimum 5 bars. So we want to have 5 of these. So that's the minimum that you want to have. All right, so that's the last on that. We have the check your understanding on the other side. And it's a lot. So what I'm going to do is not do the check your understanding until the very end. Okay, until the very end. So hold off on this page with all that charts, and we're going to go to using histograms wisely, and then I'll come back. So this is the last page of your notes today. So we offer several cautions based on common mistakes students make when using histograms. Don't confuse histograms with bar graphs. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Histograms use classes and bars just use categories.
Okay. Bar is categorical. And histograms are quantitative. So numerical data versus categorical data. Use percents instead of counts. It doesn't matter. On vertical axis, so if you're comparing 2 different ones, if you're doing a single one, it doesn't matter whether you use counts or percents. But when comparing distributions, and we've already talked about this, of different sizes. Okay. So if I did the US that I just did, but then I decide to use the UK, but I don't get as many data points, I want to use percentages rather than counts. And then 3, just because a graph looks nice, doesn't mean it's meaningful. Okay, just because it looks nice doesn't mean it's meaningful. So we can make a graph about everything, but that doesn't mean it really means anything. It's not really going to help us. All right, so about 1.6 million first-year students enroll in colleges and universities each year. What do they plan to study? The graph displays the data on the percents of first-year students who plan to major in several discipline areas. So here's your chart. Is this a bar graph or a histogram?
Bar graph.
Why is it a bar graph?
Because it has categories.
Good. Would it be correct to describe this distribution as right skewed? Why or why not?
Yes.
I would say no.
No, because it's not that big of a drop off.
No, because you can put these in any order
That. Why, Rachel?
because it's not, it's quantitative. Like you could put technical in front of business.
Good. Very good. Categorical data can be listed in any order. Quantitative has to go in numerical order, so there's no way that you can list it any different. All right. If you want to go, you can. I'm going to still record, and I'm going to show you how to make a histogram on your calculator. And I'm going to use that check your understanding that we didn't do. Okay. So again, if you want to go ahead and go, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to show everybody else how to do this on your calculators. It'd be nice if you had your calculator or maybe even your phone that I showed you how to put it in. And this will take a few minutes because we're putting all this data in, okay? So I'm just going to forewarn you. It might take the 15 minutes left in this class. But again, if you want to leave, you're more than welcome to leave.
Hold on, Miss Jones. I need to go grab my calculator. It's across the room.
All right, so while she's grabbing her calculator, this is what's going to take a while. Go into Stat, Edit, and put all those values in this chart into L1.
Can you move your calculator out of the way?
No. Hold on a minute. So Stat L1. Yeah, I got you. Every one of them. Once you put that in, if you highlight the last number, it should say that you have 60. So it says L1 60 101. That's what mine says anyway. So you have 60. If you have anything different, then you put it in wrong. Now, don't stress out if you have, let's just keep going. Just make sure if I give you this as an assignment that you check your values. And mine may be wrong right now too, but I'm just putting them in for the point of showing you. So everybody got them in or still waiting?
Hold on, give me a second.
You're okay. I just don't want to be sitting here and not doing anything.
I'm good.
Everybody else okay? All right. So second y equals, like we did yesterday, second y equals, and hit enter. We're going to turn that plot on. We are making a histogram, so we should, the bar graph, we should hit that. We have L1 in our frequency. Then remember I told you it was zoom 9. Zoom 9. So everybody good? Yours look like mine, close to
Yeah.
it. Anyway. All right, so if you'll hit trace, you can see the categories that they did. So this bar, that bar goes from 81 to less than 90.142857. It's not going to make very nice ones because it averages it. So whatever it feels like it needs to average it to. Okay. Then you have your counts. So you see that N is 4. There are 4 of those data points in there. There are 4 data from this chart that are between 81 and 90.14. If you move over, the next bar is 90.14 to less than 99.28. There are 3 data points that fall in that bar. Same thing here, you can see how far it stretches. There are 11. There are 18, 10, 8, 5, and 1. That's it. You can sketch this anytime that you want to, okay? So if I say make a histogram, I would put it in your calculator and then just use whatever they say on each one of these. Does that make sense? So then tell me what you guys think about this. If we see, describe what you see. If it says describe what you see, what do you need to make sure that you include?
The shape.
Unimodal?
The shape, and that's part of the shape. What else?
The shape.
Spread.
Center,
Sure.
spread. One more thing.
Outlier.
Outliers. Shape, center, spread, outliers. So let's look at this one. What is your shape?
Unimodal?
Uh-huh. Is it skewed or is it symmetric? What is it? It's roughly symmetric. Yeah. Your peak is somewhere towards the middle. It's not to the right or to the left really strong. Okay. What about center?
$18.
Okay. The N is how many are in there. So what would your center be? If you think that this is close to your center, which it should be if it's the middle peak, if it's roughly symmetric, the middle is what you're looking for. So our center would be between what?
108 and 117.
108 and 117. Does everybody see that? That's what you would put.
So you look at the min and the max.
Yeah, that tells you what your what it stretches from. So this the left side of your bar is at 108 and the right side is at 117.5, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And then this just tells you how many data points are in there. That's it. All right, so we did shape and center. What about your spread?
Can you go back to the beginning of the graph? Mine just doesn't look like yours.
It's okay. You can go back to the chart and tell me what your spread is. You can find your smallest number, or you can go back to this and see that the minimum is
81.
81. So it's approximately 81 to what's your maximum?
154.
154. Does that make sense? So your calculator does, yeah, it does all the really hard work for you. Do you see any outliers, you think? No, you don't see any outliers. Let me show you what an outlier would look like. I'm going to put in, you don't have to. I'm going to put in a super random number, okay? Let me get down to the bottom. Let's say I put in 1,000. That's extreme, and I understand that. But watch what this does. See how it changes your graph really quick? Look. Everything fell within here, and you see this darkened line right here? That's your outlier, that big gap. I'll go back and do something a little different. That one is a little extreme. What's your highest number on here? Can y'all know what it is?
154.
Okay, so let's do like 250. Let's try 250. I don't want it to look so crazy. And it might still do it because come on now. Zoom 9. There you go. That's a good one. So see how our data's over here, and then there's a big gap to get to the outlier. So an outlier on a histogram is going to look really noticeable. Any questions about histograms on the calculator? Everybody good?
So what's the homework for tonight?
It's on your module. If I haven't opened it though, I'll open it.
Okay.
Let me see, module, day 5, day 6, day 7. Yep, I just haven't opened it.
What day is it?
Day 7.
Okay.
You're just going in order. You guys should be fine. Does it check off your stuff when you do it? Like, do you mark it complete or anything?
Well, normally it marks